Arm drags is something that I like to hit all the time, and if you've seen a lot of our recent videos, we've been going over a lot of ways that you can get to the back off an arm drag. One thing that I do also like to use an arm drag for is to get to a Russian tie, and then from the Russian tie, we have multiple options from there. Off the arm drag, again, doesn't matter. Like, it could literally be him just like posting on, and I arm drag and work, and somehow I get to this Russian tie. And again, if we're talking like a good solid Russian tie position, I want to make sure that my arm that's closest to him, I have a nice good bite on the bicep, and the bottom hand, I'm grabbing some form of wrist control. Now, it is important to understand that no matter how you grab the wrist, we can't switch it. Like, however you grab it, that's it. Because as I sit here, like, you may be able to get away with palming it, but again, this whole time, he's gonna be working to get that arm back. So the moment he feels that pressure release, that arm's gone. One thing you can do, however, if you are looking to tighten up this grip, is I can work on pulling this arm up and actually getting my elbow involved more. So now I'm also biting at the wrist. I've got a good grip on his arm, and I've got a good bite up on the bicep. So like this, his arm isn't going anywhere. I have his arm no matter what type of situation we're in. If we're in a sport-based situation, if we're in a self-defense situation, this arm is mine. The takedowns that we have off of this, I've done a lot over the years. Like, you can literally just sit here. Like, a big component of the Russian tie is to make sure that I control that headspace, first of all. But from this position, I can literally just start working off on an angle and just start dragging him down. And as long as I keep good head pressure, I can work him down to the ground, or at least knock him off balance a little bit. And so even if I can't take him farther than here, as he's trying to resist, I can just pass your arm through and look to take the back. You also have options with like the inside trip, which is one that I've always used a lot in the years. So again, I'll work that head pressure, I'll start working down, and as I'm driving out, I'll literally just take that near side leg and just inside trip. And if we drive all the way down to the ground, that's fine, because from here, again, if we're talking like a self-defense situation, I can, do what I need to do from here. If we're talking sport, like this is perfect, I can start working side control, you can get the back. If we're looking to be a little bit more aggressive with this Russian tie, because again, like all of these takedowns, like just simply dragging, bumping your knee into him a little bit, inside trip, like that's more force. So like there's gonna be heavy resistance with that. If I wanna utilize a Russian tie in a manner that he wants to go down, then that works in my favor because it's minimal effort. So for this one in particular, when you feel them start to pull this arm back, which is inevitable, they're going to be looking drastically to get this arm free. Now, sometimes they might post on you with that other hand. Don't worry about that as much. Again, as long as you got a good bite and you got headspace, you're fine. But as they start pulling this arm back, once I feel that, I want to take the hand that's on the wrist and I'm going to shove it to their gut. And I can't just like shove it and let go. I have to shove it, keep it there. Now I'm at the point where I can transition and now grip it the other way. Because in order for this move to be successful, I need to make sure that I have my palm facing, or my fingers facing down. So if I grabbed here initially, perfect, I can lead it. If you grabbed reverse, then yes, once I shove it to the gut, switch the hand, re-grab. Now, the hand that was hooking by the bicep, I'm actually going to feed through underneath my own arm and give it a nice thumbs up. Now, once I've done this, I've engaged my muscles, I've engaged the bones, I'm putting a lot of pressure on his forearm, and that is not a comfortable position to be in. And as I sit here again, I want to make sure I have the head pressure, but now once I get this in here, I'm just going to start driving this elbow down and driving my thumb up as I'm also chopping with this elbow. So I'm pretty much just essentially just collapsing my arms a little bit, but it puts all that pressure onto his forearm. You can already see he's uncomfortable. But now from here again, I just have to take this pressure and drive it to where I want him to go. So if we're going to the ground, I just start pulling that arm out, and trust me, he's going to come all the way down. And then again, if we're talking like self-defense, I can pin the arm, I can use my shin to staple it, and we can look, do whatever damage we need to do, or again, we can start looking, take the back, you have options. Let's understand this. Some guys might start resisting. So if I'm in the process of doing this, and maybe you're going against a bigger guy, he starts trying to posture up from here. I can easily, yes, reverse sweep him, I can bump him and pull him back, but again, if we're trying to force him or make him want to go rather than me force him, all I'm going to do now is I'm going to come straight up and just start driving this arm straight up from here. Now, for those that are familiar with jiu-jitsu, this is essentially like a bicep slicer. So as I start cranking on this, I also want to make sure that I take my hips and I'm literally just going to start hipping into his hips here. Hipping into his hips, hipping into his leg. I'm not staying here for long. But I want to do this as one quick motion. So for here, he starts resisting, I come up and I come right back down. And then again, everything else follows suit. We do what we need to do. Again, jiu-jitsu, MMA, whatever, we take position, we start working our strikes, we start working our submission, self-defense, we just literally look to control the person, or if we need to pop back up to our feet, we can. However you get to the Russian tie, which again, a lot of times is going to be off of these clinch positions, somehow we work into this, I've got my good grips, start looking to just off balance this person as much as possible. Again, utilize that headspace, start looking to drag them. If they start posturing up, maybe I come behind and I sweep them back down. Maybe I look to do that inside sweep, whatever. But if he's really pulling that arm back, fine, shove it to the gut, switch your grip if you need to, lock it in, take him straight down, and do the damage you need to do. Give it a shot.